Well, hi. My focus today is Jewish identity diversity. And this is not a political conversation, though we are in a political context. This is a conversation about who is a Jew. If you ask a question, who is a white person, or who is a black person, or who's an Arab, or who is a Korean, there isn't only one. There's no monolithic culture. And so what we're really talking about is culture. And even cultures have tremendous diversity. The Jewish culture has people from all over the world, from the Mizrahi, are from North Africa and other Arab regions in the Middle East. Sephardi are originally from Spain and have traveled then from after the Spanish Inquisition to various places and have retained their Sephardi culture. There are Ashkenazi, of course, from Eastern Europe and from other places in Europe and Russia that have lived in those places, having been exiled from originally from where the Hebrew culture came from and where Judaism came from, which goes all the way back to, yes, the land of Israel, or we can call it Palestine, or we can call it Middle East, but certainly from that region, including other places, that goes back at least 2,500 years. The first temple of Solomon was built in Judea and Shomron, in Jerusalem. So that's the Ashkenazi. And there are African Jews that now the Ethiopian Falasha culture that lives now in Israel. My point being, there are many ethnicities within the Jewish greater culture. And so who are we? Well, we're clearly of all colors and races, from black to brown to white to yellow. And so, although there are some Jews in Asia, I don't know the numbers, but there are Jews all around the world. And so geographically, Jews live all over the world. We call the lands outside of Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, we call the Galut, or the diaspora. And so Jews have lived in exile for thousands of years and retained significantly due to the Torah, the Jewish body of teachings, and what's known as Judaism, for thousands of years. And culture, humor, food, of various cultural influences, music, have perpetuated, and stories, oral traditions have perpetuated, cycles of holidays have perpetuated for thousands of years. So Jews have done a great job of retaining their core culture and traditions and stories. That's one of the strengths of the Jewish people. Now, Jews are of all kinds in terms of character. We got all kinds of characters and a whole range of individuals and personal identities. So there isn't a monolithic Jew. And I think that really is my main point here this morning, to say that identity is very complex. We have many identities inside of ourselves. We have inner theaters, inner committees, inner roundtables, whatever metaphor you'd like to use. And so I bring you that this morning to begin a deeper dive into Jewish identity. And Jewish identity exists within other cultures, as I said. So the Yiddish language, for example, was a combination of Polish and Hebrew, or German and Hebrew, or Romanian and Hebrew. And so we have tremendous diversity in ourselves, and internally we have all these parts of us, aspects, characteristics that we relate to our Jewish identity. And one of the most important distinctions is between our Jewish identity and our identification with Israel. So that's a big one. I think that distinction is like a Venn diagram and is really important to differentiate. So I will continue on to that. Thanks for tuning in. This is Michael Calbart, Shift in Perspective.